Good morning, I'm Gordon Steele. Well, this is finally it, the last day of the festival, which most people are greeting with a great sigh of relief. It's certainly been a long, hard 2 weeks, but most sellers are claiming better business this year than last. Favorite tonight for the Palme d'Or Award, which will be announced at 7:15, seems to be Mishima, although it's a pretty even money bet all around. The change in dates of the American film market, which leads to a clash next year with the Berlin Film Festival, will be worked out for 1987, according to both organizations. As yet, it's not quite clear who will move into where, but it will be announced shortly. Alexander Salkind told The Hollywood Reporter yesterday that a screening of the first cut of his $50 million epic blockbuster Santa Claus to McDonald's so impressed top American executives that they've agreed to spend $35 million on promoting the film in the USA. This starts 2 months before the film's opening, which is November the 27th, through TriStar with 2,000 prints. Salkind has similar plans, of course, for his top distributors worldwide. Tonight's closing film is John Borman's The Emerald Forest, which is also a world premiere for the film. This is particularly appropriate as it's British Film Year. Our guest today is Victor Levy-Perrot, who is Director News. I'd like to welcome today to Cannes Terry and Nari Jackman of Hoyts. It was their 20th anniversary last Wednesday, so welcome Terry, and I hope you're ready for the Coolangatta race tomorrow. Now I'd like to introduce our guest for the day, the Chairman of the Board of Canon International, Menahem Golan. Good morning, Menahem.
Good morning. Good morning.
Menahem, there've always been in my mind 3 names associated with Canon. That's Menahem, Yoram, and Success. Would you like to explain that a little?
I like this combination, no doubt about it. Look, we have come to the Mecca of cinema, Hollywood, in 1979, actually just coming to make movies, where movies are done in American style. We've been grown on American films, and we decided to try and make them ourselves. But when we came there, we found the system, well, at least to say, doesn't fit our spirit and the way we make movies. We grew in the international market. We grew in Cannes Festival. And we knew the foreign markets, I think, better, if not as good, as the American who sold films before. American producers in the past never really thought about their own backyard. So when we came there, we came with just a different kind of producing films for the world. And it proved to be right. Now, 6 years later, you know what Canon is. I think everybody knows.
An obvious success, and it was right. How would you differentiate your system from, say, the majors?
Well, the first thing, we are working with an international family. We call Cannes our Christmas. We come to meet them here. They are involved much more than with the majors, the international community of motion picture business people. I mean, the distributors, the buyers in each country. We meet them every year here. We discuss things with them. They hear about our projects. We talk to them about our projects, and they buy our project. And when we do not announce films normally that we do not make, and you know Hollywood has a lot of BS. I mean, Hollywood, 90% is talk and 10% is making motion pictures. We are motion pictures makers, and the world know about it. Sometimes we make better films, sometimes we don't make such good films, but we do make films. That's the name of the game. And look where we are today. You just mentioned some of the directors who are working with us. We're making a film with Liliana Cavani, Andrei Konchalovsky, a master Russian director, is working with us. And at the same time, we're working with commercial stars, and we're making American motion pictures that are grabbed by the international market.
Which of your films are your personal favorites? What do you predict is going to be your big successes out of your slate?
Well, no doubt, one of them is Runaway Train. Runaway Train is now being shot in Alaska, directed by Andrei Konchalovsky, starring 3 major American, Damon, you know, and John Voight and Eric Roberts. And the script is written by Akira Kurosawa. I think it's a fantastic film. I think Lina Wertmüller's film is very interesting, Camorra. And of course, we just, I think, announced a coup for the international commercial films when we put Bronson and Chuck Norris together, the hottest stars today in the international market world for action pictures. And we're doing the Delta Force with them.
Now, Menahem, that's production, but it's fairly common knowledge that you and Yoram have been buying theatre circuits in Europe. The rumor is that you've also been looking at Germany. Is this true, and is this something that you continue to pursue?
It is true. We now, Canon now owns a big chain of cinemas in England, in Holland, in Italy, and we are looking into other markets in Europe for the mere reason that we believe that exhibition is part of our industry, is part of the bringing entertainment and motion pictures to the public. I mean, we hate to see a movie shown in a theater where the sound system is bad, where no focus, the toilets stink, etc. And we believe this is one of the faults and the problems of the exhibition of motion pictures. We want to see our films playing. We want to control the fate of the babies that we bring, the fate of our films, from the idea, from the moment we create an idea and then work on the film until the moment they meet the public through the theater.
You believe in the future of theatrical?
I believe in the future of the theatrical, no doubt.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward very much to see you directing Stallone, because I know you're still directing. You're going to still find time to do that.
I hope so. I hope you like it. Over the Top, we're starting to shoot in the beginning of the year.
Good. And I want to wish you all continued success for Canon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Menahem. That's it from the Hollywood Reporter again until tomorrow. Thank you, and thanks again, Menahem. Good morning.
Good morning.
Rapid rise of success of PSO. I mean, you started, 7 years ago as a sales agent. Today you're considered practically a major, at least an independent major. Your U.S. distribution, your own cassette label. You have about $350 million to spend over the next 5 years for production. How have you done it?
Luck. I'm kidding.
A little more than that, I think.
Oh, I'd like to say it was all part of a great grand plan that we had from the day that I opened the PSO offices. But I tell you, it's a lot of perspiration, a bit of inspiration. Luck has a part of it. And support. Support from your friends, from your distributors, from your partners, from my wife, a great partner, my wife. Hi, Maggie. Hi, Alexi. Alexi's my daughter. She's 3 years old. She's here.
What are your future plans? I mean, how many films are you planning to produce a year? Because you are in production, obviously.
We expect to produce anywhere from 5 to 8 pictures a year ourselves and pick up another 6 or 7 pictures for distribution overseas. We have our own distribution in the States now, which we do through TriStar, and our own video cassette label, PSO label, and packaging through CBS Fox. But I think what's most exciting is the lineup of pictures we have and the filmmakers that we've been able to attract. It's not easy for the new kid on the block, and that's what we were basically. We were the foreign kids, who knew how to sell pictures overseas and distribute and market them, but had not primarily been in the U.S. marketplace. And the industry looks at whether or not you can really attract the top projects, the top directors, top producers, and so. And they look upon it with skepticism. And I think we have been lucky in being able to attract talent like, 9.5 weeks we have coming out shortly. This is Adrian Lyne's first picture after Flashdance. We are going shortly into production with Short Circuit, which is a $21 million picture, which John Badham will direct. Badham did Saturday Night Fever. He did Blue Thunder, War Games. We just signed, just a week before coming here, Richard Donner to do Lost Boys. And we're doing that as a co-venture with Warner Brothers. Donner did Superman 1, he did Omen 1. I was going to do Lost Boys 1. You mentioned before Legs, which really is not starting in September. It's starting next February, which we're going to shoot almost entirely in Italy. We've worked with Francis Coppola for many years. As a matter of fact, I know that you had Menahem on television the other day. We go back, I used to act, see. In 1962, I did a picture for Roger Corman in which the head grip was Menahem Golan and the sound man was Francis Ford Coppola.
Distinguished company.
So what's happened since then, of course, Francis and I have had a long relationship ever since then. We've handled about 5 of his pictures overseas, and I'm delighted that we are now producing a picture which Francis is directing called Legs, which is the story of the famous Legs Diamond. Yes.
How did you get your start?
How did I get my who?
Your start. How did you start out?
As an actor. As an actor.
And then?
I did about 10 pictures in the U.S., and then I did about 40 pictures in Italy. And what happened was, at a certain point in time, it's very difficult for an actor to sustain a momentum. He either goes and achieves major stardom or begins to fall. Well, I began to fall, so I said the way for me to make certain that my career stays in place is to write my own scripts for myself as an actor, which I did, but then the directors who directed these scripts that I wrote for myself as an actor didn't seem to get the performance out of me that they should have, so I decided the best thing is for me to become a director, which I did, and I directed about 4 pictures, 3 of which starred myself, 1 of which starred myself as twins, as a matter of fact. But the producer didn't give me enough money to make the picture properly, so I became a producer, and I produced 5 pictures, 4 of which starred myself, but that didn't make me a star, as it turned out. As a matter of fact, the reason I was sure was because the distribution was bad. So I finally became a distributor, and that was such a nice experience that I came to States, opened PSO, and that's why I'm here today.
Where do you get your satisfaction now? From distribution? From production?
I get my satisfaction, I guess, from the success that the company's had. I'm creatively involved with the projects. Many people have asked us, since you've given up acting, do you miss it quite a bit? And the fact is that I'm heavily involved creatively from a directorial standpoint, if you will, because I can talk to the directors, I can talk to the actors, I've been on both sides of the camera, and it allows me to understand where the creative talent is coming from and talk to them in their own language, which I think is also perhaps part of the reason that we've had success in attracting this kind of director.
Mark, I'd like to wish you all continuing success with PSO Delphi. Thank you for coming in. And that's it from the Hollywood Reporter this morning. We'll be seeing you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Universal Pictures said they didn't want to distribute it unless I re-edited it, and I had final cut and I refused to re-edit it. And it was shown for, they said they were only going to show it for 2 weeks in New York, 2 weeks in Los Angeles, 3 days in San Francisco, and shelve it, which is what they did. And I ended up owning it, and it's now 14 years since the Venice Film Festival, and I think it's time for it to be seen in Europe. It's never been seen here.
What's the film oblations to Andrew Milner on his promotion to the Director of International Theatrical Distribution at CBS Productions? And happy birthday to Stephen Paul. Today I'd like to introduce our new guest, who is Frans Afman, Senior Vice President of the Credit Lyonnais Bank in the Netherlands. Frans is the banker for Dino De Laurentiis, Alexander Salkind, Canon, and Tarek Banamar, amongst a few. Good morning, Frans.
Good morning, Gordon.
And welcome to the Hollywood Reporter Show.
Thank you very much.
Frans, the first question I'd like to ask is, your bank is basically the premier bank for financing the independent market.
I think that's absolutely right.
I thought you'd agree with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Why is that?
Well, first of all, we went into this business by sheer coincidence. About 15 years ago, I was very happy to meet Dino De Laurentiis. You just mentioned him. By the way, you just mentioned when you were reading the news 2 of my clients and at least 4 of my next targets.
Right.
So it means that we developed a new financial structure in order to put up financing for the independent producers. And slowly but surely, we were approached by other important producers, remarkably enough, mainly from European origin. You mentioned Salkind, you mentioned Dino, you mentioned Cannon Boys, you know, they're all expatriates. And so along the way, we developed this structure, and I must admit that actually we never ever got in touch or involved with the major companies, because they may not need us or we may not need them. I don't know what it is, but we're very, very happy with the independent producers.
Are they in your future plans, the major companies?
Oh, I'm not excluding it. I'm not excluding it. But for the time being, we're very, very busy with the independents.
Now, Frans, I know you're a very charming man, but what is it about your bank that would lead you to have so many independent producers? I mean, when someone approaches you for a loan to discount contracts, How do you look at them? How do you decide?
Well, somebody has said years ago that in this business, you do not invest in figures, but you do invest in people. So the most important thing for us is that we check his track record. We see whether the man has a good moral standing, that he's capable, and that he has a project, that he understands what he is doing. That is very important. And so that the project must be already developed. And then we sit down with him, and then we try to structure the financial package. And I can tell you, Gordon, it's not always easy, because not one deal is identical. They all differ. So I don't have a draw with, you know, a standard loan and security agreement. Say, okay, please sign, and we just fill in the numbers. That's not how it works. So it takes time. It takes time. I've been involved in corporate banking in my early years, and there, you know, we made it a rule that within 2 weeks we could give an answer to a prospect. In this business, it takes 2 months, unfortunately.
Why is it that major banks have really shied away, especially major American banks, from, I know they're trying to get back into it now, but why have they shied away from the independent film financing scene?
I really don't know. It's an excellent question. I'm happy that you asked the question. I really don't know. I think it's a matter of not understanding the business, not willing to understand the business. You have to make an effort. I mean, in this business, I feel it's absolutely necessary that you need to have some training. I think they should send every film banker for 3 months to a summer course in New York or UCLA. I think it's very important that you know what is pre-production, how is a film put together, and what is post-production, looping, editing, mixing, scoring, etc., etc. If you don't know that, if you don't want to know it, I don't see how you can be helpful to your clients, to the producers.
Sure.
I think it's a must.
Knowledge.
Secondly, we really developed the foreign market. We know exactly how the distributors in Taiwan are doing, and in the Philippines, and in Germany, and in Spain, because we need to know, because at the end of the day, we have to finance the contracts that my clients have closed with these various distributors.
Is that what you're doing in Cannes?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm doing in Cannes. I'm here to learn. I'm here to obtain information about the foreign markets. I'm here to talk to the foreign distributors. And finally, I'm here to help and advise my clients. Okay. And I'm here to be proud of my clients. If I look at Menahem running around the Crozet with a star like Placido Domingo, like he did last night, it makes me feel proud. And I do remember the days that I started with Menahem only, I think it was only 8 years ago, with a 400,000 line of credit.
Right. One last question. Do you see the future market changing in terms of pre-sales?
Not really. Not really. I don't think so. I see
things are the same.
The media, the emphasis of the media may change. Today, video
business will go on.
Yes, video is a big market, but I think theatrical market will come back.
All right.
I believe in the cinemas. I believe in young people going
Frans.
back to the cinemas.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's it from the Hollywood Reporter this morning. Until tomorrow, thanks again to Frans Afman. I'm Gordon Steele. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.